We'll have Chauncey speak in a little bit. I just wanted to see. I haven't seen him since he was like 8 years old. So that's what your dad just called. He might be calling in a little bit. Yeah, he said he was going to try to call if he can get a phone out and call today, but I don't know. So I'm trying to keep my cell phone with me so I can hear it. I'm going to have Deeahop Conway come up and speak. Leonard had wanted her to come and speak. That's her dad, dog hide. I don't know where she's like. Oh, there you go. Be nice. Just learning to step up and speak, and I'm really glad when I hear anybody new coming up to speak and talk. That's a good thing.
My name is Deeahop Conway, and I'm a member of the Puyallup tribe. I am the oldest child of Charles Conway, also known as Dog Hide, who was also a member of AIM. I am honored to welcome you to our land, and thank you for your support. Give yourself a big hand. We did it. I'm also a member of the Leonard Peltier Defense Offense Committee, and growing up I was always told stories of the movement and of Wounded Knee and of Leonard Peltier and his wrongful imprisonment. I grew to appreciate members of AIM at a very influential age. My father always shared stories of the importance of keeping everything alive in our heritage. And as I work at my daycare, I grow to appreciate it more every day, from our traditional songs to our stories and our language and art. And I thank those who fought for us to have these things in our daily life. I thank you for coming and sharing your support and thinking of us, the younger generation. I will pass on your stories and practice our traditions. My father always spoke of the importance of all Indigenous peoples being able to carry on their traditions. And I thank you all for being here today.
That took a lot. These of a private person. That took a bit to have her come up, and I thank her for doing that. We're going to have an update on the clemency campaign from Arthur Miller from the Tacoma chapter of the Leonard Peltier Defense Offense Committee. I keep getting used to the new names of who we are throughout the years. Just for Leonard. Arthur, where did you go? Maybe he's not going to. Okay, instead we'll have the keynote speaker, Ramona Bennett, come up. The keynote speaker, Ramona Bennett, tribal elder and activist, and before me.
They call me Marilyn.
I really mean
I told Sue, it seems really weird. The Aztec dancers have never failed to be here before, and Father Bixel is in prison right now, and there's Arthur. I got in front of you, Arthur. Some of the things I've noticed is these white people are so astounded by the force of Homeland Security, and we have been living with Homeland Security since something like that. That's really close. We have suffered this martial law from the beginning. I'll take you back. We were not allowed to leave the reservations until World War I, when our people enlisted at statistically astounding rates to defend our mountains and defend our rivers. And before then, since then, to this day, we suffered that kind of effort to eradicate us. The governmental plan was to entirely rid themselves of the nuisance of Indians, and only the Civil War saved us from being totally wiped off our beautiful land. And so I want you to know that Leonard is a symbol. They don't want to let him loose because he is a symbol of us and our desire for freedom and our continuing fight for freedom. His trial was totally illegal, absolutely illegal. In any court that you'll ever go to, they always tell the victim's family, show no expression, show no emotion. At all of Leonard's trials, all of the families of the federal agents sat in the front row, soaking up Kleenex after Kleenex, being very emotional. No other court would have tolerated such a thing. Leonard is a symbol to us. You know, in Africa, which is supposedly the most racist nation in the world, Mandela was locked up for 28 years and came out to be president. Here in America, Leonard has been in prison, what, 31 years? 30? Yeah, a long, long time. Leonard has been locked up. Many moons, yes. And they can't let him out. We've had parole plan after parole plan, jobs, homes, supervision, everything that a parole plan should require, and they tore our papers up. They wiped their asses with our parole plan. They completely dismissed us and continued incarcerating Leonard, who he's our friend, he's our brother, he's not just a symbol. He's a really good guy, and he was a friend of ours. Angela, you even remember him. He's a nice man. And this was a war situation. This is a war situation. Puyallup was having to set up armed camps to protect our fishermen. We were traveling to Washington, D.C. and getting beat up and being faced with these ridiculous charges. This was a war zone. There were 63 murders on the Pine Ridge Reservation that year, and not one was investigated because it was all Indians that were being murdered. And they said there were, how many federal agents were on Pine Ridge Reservation? 170 federal agents were on that reservation. What in the hell for? It was just poor people struggling for some kind of equality in what continues to be a third world nation. I mean, this is a hard reservation to live on, even today. And back then it was scary. It was even worse. The elders were getting their doors kicked in, getting their things burned, being harassed. People were being killed right and left. And Leonard was, he was a car mechanic. He had a beautiful shop, 8 bays, 4 for auto body work and 4 for mechanics. he had the contract to do the police department up Seattle's cars. I mean, he was a legitimate businessman with, like Chief Lesha, he had everything going for him. He was loved by the Indians, he was respected by the white people. But if you were an elder and your fan belt broke, he'd just drop everything, go buy you a fan belt, fix your car. You had a flat tire, they didn't have freeways back then, but, you know, he'd find a tire, find a wheel, get out there and rescue you. I mean, that's how he was. That's the kind of man he was. That's the kind of man he is. And when them elders back there at Pine Ridge said, we're scared, we need security, you know he dropped everything. He just dropped everything, his whole business, and went back there to stand guard, to protect the elders, because that's the kind of person he is. And we were shocked, you know, when he was arrested and was charged with these murders, because we don't think of him as a murderous person. He's a gentle guy. And then we realized why they grabbed him. Because he was an urban Indian, they figured nobody from the city would miss him, nobody from the reservation would miss him. They figured that he would be quickly forgotten, and they could charge him, which would satisfy everybody if some Indian got charged. And no one would know and no one would care. And what they didn't count on is how many friends he had, how many friends he had made, how many relatives he had, so yeah, that too. So I'm really grateful and thankful that he isn't forgotten. He is a symbol. He is a symbol of suffering. He is a symbol of how unfair this system is to Indians. And all of you that have gotten DWIs, driving while Indian charges, you all know, you all know that the system is slanted against us. Always has been, back to 1492. It always is going to be. You know, live your lives in a good way. You know, really enjoy every moment of your miracles, because our ancestors, like Leonard, have suffered and died for our rights. You know, for these little opportunities that we have. You know, just treasure every day that you've got, because people have laid down their lives so that you could have that day. And I don't have to tell you, don't ever forget Leonard. We'll never forget Leonard, and we'll never forget how really cruel this system can be. I'm glad to see all of the coalitions that keep working together. Well, and the unions, and the radical women, and the Socialist Workers' Party, and the church councils too. You know, we really depend on those coalitions to keep us all going, and I really appreciate everyone, and thank you for inviting me.
Thank you.